Hi, it's Kia. I invite you to read with me. This morning I will be reading an article from the Times, and I am wearing a Sephora lipstick. It is Sephora, and it is Sephora Rouge, and its name is The Red. So that's what I'm wearing today. I wear it every now and then, bring it out. Not an everyday lip, but for special occasions I bring this out. So I'll read with this today. Good morning. Today we're covering a murder trial in Massachusetts that has become a proxy for how people view society's ills. It shows a close-up of Lindsay Clancy in court on Friday. Case I'm not very familiar, so let me read it. This was written by Shaila Dewan. Justice for Lindsay? In the hours before the courthouse in Plymouth, Massachusetts opens, hundreds of women clad in pink have been massing outside. They've come to support Lindsay Clancy, the mother on trial for killing her 3 young children, ages 5, 3, and 8 months. In almost any other case, it would be an odd declaration of allegiance. But Clancy is not a typical murder suspect. She attempted for months after the birth of her 3rd child to get treatment for what she reported was her increasing postpartum derangement. Then she killed her children. She has admitted in what she says was a state of psychosis. Closing arguments begin tomorrow. Should she be treated like an ordinary killer? That question is a Rorschach test for Americans fascinated by this case. Some say Clancy was failed by a system that doesn't take postpartum mental illness serious enough. It should not take tragedy for people to pay attention to mental health, said Renee Kimball, the organizer of the courthouse demonstration. Other people are horrified by arguments like this, saying they ignore the facts of this incomprehensible crime. I don't look at her and feel sorry for her, said the former Fox News host Megyn Kelly. 3 kids are dead. Whatever the jury decides, for many people, the case has become a proxy for all manner of perceived societal ills. The meanings of a tragedy. One perspective on this calamity remains straightforward. Clancy killed her children and must pay the price. That is the view of the prosecution, which has charged her with first-degree murder, a crime with mandatory life sentence, as well as several pundits. A headline on one conservative site put it this way: Lindsay Clancy defenders are just as sick as she is. But others see her case as evidence of a nation that neglects new mothers and fails to properly care for maternal mental health. Clancy, a labor and delivery nurse who experienced debilitating insomnia and other symptoms, visited the emergency room twice, went to a day program, called a suicide hotline, and checked into a residential program, which discharged her. I really need help, she messaged her her psychiatric nurse practitioner. She reported intrusive thoughts, received therapy over Zoom, and got 30 prescriptions for 13 medications. But nobody ever diagnosed her with postpartum psychosis, an emergency that would have been warranted hospitalization. For that reason, many view the children's deaths as a product not of individual depravity, but of a broken medical system. Hundreds of women have posted on social media about their own postpartum struggles and expressed empathy for Clancy. Allie Beth Stuckey, a conservative Christian commentator and a fan of Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr., told her viewers that she had a split reaction when she heard about the case. She felt immediate disgust and anger, she said, but also a recognition of how dark and how out of control for some women postpartum can be. Lenience for moms? Our thinking about cases like these has changed over the decades. 25 years ago, a Texas nurse named Andrea Yates drowned her 5 children in the bathtub and then wrapped them in sheets. Her defense, too, said she was suffering from psychosis. She wanted to be executed, though, because she believed that the devil lived within her. Her lawyer, George Parnham, said in an interview, the jury found her guilty, but she got a new trial and was found not guilty by reason of insanity. After that, Parnham pushed the state lawmakers to adjust the strict definition of insanity and to allow a lighter sentence for mothers with postpartum mental disorders. He made little headway then, but now people are more open about mental illness. We don't think about people who struggle mentally as automatically just not tough enough, malingerers, just fakers, in the way that we might have 20, 30 years ago, said Michelle Oberman, a legal scholar who has studied cases of mothers who kill. Today, some 36 countries offer juries an option between murder and insanity, one that recognizes the particular mental vulnerabilities that can arise after birth, and set a significantly lower penalty for mothers who kill an infant. One similar bill has passed in the United States in Illinois. Still, the question of whether mental illness diminishes culpability remains in dispute, and many states in recent decades have made it harder to use an insanity defense. The tide began to turn when a jury acquitted John Hinckley Jr. on the basis of insanity after his attempted assassination of President Ronald Reagan. 5 states have eliminated the insanity defense altogether. In cases like the Clancy killings, the debate may boil down to this: is the crime so heinous that insanity cannot excuse it? Or is it so heinous that only insanity can explain it? Interesting. That's it. Thank you for reading with me.